Cheers. It's like almost too hot for tea, but... So I got a new one of these. Look, how fun, how lovely. There's something wonderful about buying a new notebook, or just stationery anyway. When I went to, I think it was Muji, I was moseying around Muji, that rolls off the tongue, and looking at the new stationery, I was like, damn, I wish I was going back to school because I would have an excuse to buy a bunch of really pretty pens. I'm on a weird tangent now. What was this video about? I wanted to talk about diary writing. Okay, so obviously you know Bridget Jones, the latest film, came out a few months ago. I really loved it. I went to see it twice, and it kind of inspired me to start writing a diary. I also read the books for the first time too, and again that fed into this desire to start keeping track of my everyday. How long have I been doing this? Let's see. Since the 10th of March this year. 2025. This is the page I started my diary on, but before that there are a lot of other pages which are actually journals, because I used to use this notebook as a journal. Now for me, journaling and diary writing are two very different things, and I want to talk about why I've switched and why I think diary writing is personally better for me. So I bought that notebook to use as a journal a couple years ago when I was about 17. My mental health was really not great, and I wanted to start journaling and write about it because I never really tried it, and I thought it would be a good way to help get out some of my feelings. And I think it was definitely helpful, especially because, you know, there's only so much you maybe feel comfortable saying to friends or whatever, but there are just certain things, I don't know, certain problems or thoughts that it kind of helps to just sort of brain dump and work it out on the page. However, what I have since learnt is that I'm someone who is generally, I'd say, quite introspective. I spend a lot of time in my thoughts and kind of analysing and overthinking everything, regardless of whether I'm writing it down or not. If there's a problem in my life, I will be thinking about it regardless, endlessly, trying to figure out a solution. And I basically began to find that also writing about it in great detail wasn't actually really that healthy. I felt like it wasn't helping me get back into a healthy headspace. It was just giving me a chance to kind of sit there and obsess about it even more. I just began to find that that wasn't really the healthiest thing for me to do. There's a quote by someone, I can't remember who. Someone was like, I think you guys are just thinking way too much about yourselves. And there's also a really funny video of Joanna Lumley talking about the concept of identity and knowing who you are. And she kind of argues that you don't have to explore to find your identity because you know who you are, because you've always been you. Which I kind of like that perspective. Basically, why I'm bringing this up is to say that journaling, I think, was making me more self-obsessed. And I think sometimes, particularly when you have anxiety, the best thing you can do for yourself is to stop thinking about yourself and rummaging through your own thoughts and actually be present. So I switched to writing a diary because I think it's actually helping me to be more present, almost in the same way that vlogging does. But the simple act of capturing something, whether it's in short videos or just writing notes about what I did in a day, it's really, really useful for helping me remember my life. Because I think sometimes, I don't know, especially if I was in kind of a monotonous routine or it just felt like there wasn't a lot happening, it's so easy for those days to just drift by without you even realising. And so for me, doing this has really helped me to actually remember a lot of stuff, because you don't necessarily have to write down a lot or write everything down in great detail, but just having it written down, when you read it back, it triggers all the memories and all the details that come with it. And so it's really great. I feel like I'm actually remembering my days a lot better. And so if you struggle with feeling like life is just kind of passing, or you forget a lot of stuff, I feel like a lot of the time I have bad short-term memory. When people would ask me, oh, what did you do today? I'm like, that's a great question. I wasn't expecting that question. But this is actually really helping me to remember things, which is great. Also, it gives you a chance to be aware of your own personality. I kind of write things and make jokes, and reading it back, I'm like, oh yeah, I do have a sense of humour. The opposite kind of works for if I'm being absolutely insufferable about something and I read it back a month later and I'm like, it was never that deep. So yeah, if you're someone who wants to kind of work on being present, remembering things, and sort of isn't finding journaling that helpful for a bad brain, I would recommend switching to diary writing. It's very fun, and I already enjoy reading back things that were happening a month ago or like 2 months ago on a random Tuesday. So I can't imagine what that's gonna feel like when I read back things that will be like from 10 years ago, because I intend to keep doing this, I guess, forever. Anyways, I can't wait to start this fresh one, because my new one will probably be done, my old one will probably be done this week. That's all I have to say on that. Thanks for watching. Happy Vida, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.